Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another episode of AfterBuzz TV, the challenge review. And you guys just come talk to us. I've got the live chat open if I can chat myself. So join us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
This is my jam. I love this song. This is a good choice.
I know there's a pinky finger part.
Shota. Oh,
So
keep it going.
prepared. I'm putting my pinky finger in the air.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
got
welcome
it.
to the challenge AfterBuzz review. I'm your host Paulina Aguilar, and you can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M Aguilar. And guys, I've got the live chat, so chat away, please. Andrew, where can they find you?
Hey, everybody, we'd love to hear from you, so chitty chatter us up on the chat. And my name is Pamela Gross. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Pamela Gross Jill. So follow me.
Woo! All right, let's get this started.
All right.
Season 29, episode 13. This was a little bit of a different kind of episode for us. I
Yeah.
don't think we've seen something like this in a while. Less competition, a little bit more sensitive,
Little emotions.
a little
emotions
emotional. What
tonight.
did you think overall?
Overall, I thought it was really touching, the part about, the reflecting about DM and CT, and I didn't realize it has been 3 years, almost over 3 years. It feels so recent, and that really was, it is a tragic loss, so it is hard when you get infused with some serious stuff thrown into the challenge. So with that, and then all the other emotional things, I thought it was a fun episode. It was nice to sort of regroup with our remaining people and see where
Regroup all the
everyone's at.
craziness.
Yeah, regroup, settle in, see what's going on with everyone. Overall, I kind of enjoyed it. It was a little slow because there was no competition except for the beginning. But I liked, we got to see a softer side of a lot of people, which was nice, and the crazier side of some crazy people.
I
So
think she's got the same crazy, but we'll
yeah,
eventually
the
get
same
to
crazy,
that.
but man.
All right, so last episode, we ended up with Laurel going home in the fortress, and now we've
Yes.
got the men, CT versus Darrell.
Yes.
CT, that was a smart move. I did not even think about that at all.
It was hella smart, as they say. So last week when Jenna and I were here, we both thought that Darrell would win. We both thought he's pretty much a shoo-in. He's been really in it to win it this entire season. He's got his mind on the game, and CT had been sort of just coasting along the whole time. But CT put his brains into it and really made it a really tough thing to unravel.
And I think you're right, because we haven't seen him slide. We saw him slide through a little bit. So this competition basically brought him back to show everyone why he's there and why he is a champ.
Yep. He hadn't had a lot of head-to-head competition. I was a little concerned watching it at the end that CT had tired himself out so hardcore that he wasn't even going to be able to perform well in the second part of it. But he did, so that was good.
It was the first time seeing these two people go in. Usually I have, okay, you're going to win, or I have something. But this was one where I just was like, they're two good competitors, great competitors. It was a pretty good matchup, I thought.
Yeah, they're two powerhouses. They're two champ of the champs.
So I think no matter who would have gone home, I think either way I would have been sad.
I think that Darrell definitely deserved to win, and had he won, I would have been happy. I personally am like a ride or die CT fan, so I was happy to see him continue on to the challenge. And the way that things unfolded after, I did think it was very auspicious and nice that he did. And Darrell, though, kudos to him, such a class act. I mean, he was amazing
respect for both of them
throughout the whole time. And
Yeah.
he was a real, to the end, even when he left, he had the cute joke with CT. He said something like, bring the money home for me, or something really sweet, classy till the end. So, yeah, would have been thrilled to see either of them, but personally, just a little smidge more because I love CT.
I think watching this last one with them it kind of brought everything together as far as there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of name calling, a lot of shoving. But like watching these two guys compete, you just see the heart and the passion that they have for this show, which is one of my favorite things and why I keep watching for 29 seasons.
Yeah, I do think that Camilla and Laurel had that too. That was a great competition.
Oh, yeah.
And kudos to the show maker people, because it's hard to have a challenge that is like endurance, brains, strength, and that is really anyone's game. You know, it's where size, height, all those things aren't a deciding factor per se in who's going to win it. So it does keep us on our toes, the viewer, because it's like, you know, it could be anyone's game.
Yeah, because these people the 6 people that are now in the finals were not on my list. I think the only 2 I had were CT and Camilla, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yes, I agree. The only champion that I'm not super or underdog I'm not super surprised by is Nicole, because I always thought, based on all the girls on the underdog team, her and Jenna, I thought Jenna would have been, but other than that, I thought that Nicole was one of the stronger. So she's the only one that's not a complete surprise to me, but the other ones are pretty surprising.
So we've got 6 people left. We've got Nelson, Corey, CT, Nicole, Camilla, and Ashley.
Yes.
So you weren't surprised of Nicole.
No.
And they've all proved themselves. So it's hard for me to sit here and say, oh, I wish they weren't here, and I wish so-and-so weren't there, because they all proved themselves to be there.
Yeah.
So that's a little hard. And so overall, it's really going to be good. I really want to see who's got it.
It's going to be something. It's going to be really exciting. I can't wait to see, because it's going to be fun to see who falls apart at the individual competition and who doesn't. I think we know Camilla and CT obviously can handle it. Ashley is the dark horse for me in this, because I have been so surprised by her time and time again. I think she's a mess, and I can never believe that she really withstands.
You know what it
these
is, though?
challenges
She's a
and
mess
comes
when
through.
she's out drinking and she's at the house and they're just hanging out. When it comes to competition, she's focused, she's determined, she gets it together. And that's why she's winning.
She somehow does. Yeah, she's still here. I couldn't believe, you know, every time I'm like, man, she's going to be gone.
Right.
She's not going to make it. And she keeps.
Well, speaking of
coming
her
through.
mess, we see her throw another tantrum after they went out to the club, and she comes back, and all of it, you know, Nicole and Nelson are talking and connecting, and Corey and Camilla are out in the pool, and all of a sudden, I don't even know how this blew up. She started complaining and wanted to go home.
That's what is so crazy bananas about it, is that so Nelson and Nicole are having this really adorable heart-to-heart about Laurel, essentially, and Nicole's crying and saying, oh, and I'm ready to let go of my first love, some other person, I guess, and I never thought I'd felt this way, which for Nicole, I'm like, oh, yay, vulnerability, so cute, you know, tough girl.
That's a different show. We see that for a different show.
But it was cute, and it wasn't too much, because she's still Nicole. She's like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna win. And Nelson's like, I guess so Nelson's saying, like, you're gonna win, you know, which seemed to me just like, cheer up, not like, we're gonna take down Ashley. And then I literally, in my notes, then she freaks out, she wants to go home. It's like, what? Why? Was she upset that her friends are gone?
I think
Did she think they were talking about her?
It was a mix of both. She doesn't have anybody in that house anymore. All of her friends left. Okay, that's one. 2, she did think they were talking about her, which they weren't. And she was just, I don't know what she was thinking. She was drinking. You can tell she was drinking. She had been drinking. Everybody
they
had
all
been
had been drinking. They were
right.
out at
So
the
she's
club.
emotional. She's probably homesick. She probably misses her friends and family at home. But the one thing that pissed me off is that when she was going through that, the only thing that I can tell myself was like, wow, someone like that, do you really deserve to be in that position that you are?
No, suck it the F up, Ashley.
How many other girls competed in this season who want your spot, who probably deserve your spot more than you, and you're going to throw this tantrum? No,
and she wants to go
like
home.
it.
She wants to go home. It's like, you're not forced to be there. You worked really hard to be there. So stop whining about wanting to go home.
It's a privilege to be there.
And also a privilege that she earned. It's like, what is your problem? I think that she's bananas, and that makes me angry, because there's challenge crazy, and then there's what is that out of nowhere. I think Nelson addressed it the best possible way, which was
With the
just like, she
cameras.
wants attention. She wants attention. She needs to have her little
And
temper
it
tantrum.
worked.
And it worked, and it was true. I guess that's what it was. She was bored, and she
Now-
threw a tantrum.
Now everyone saw her flip.
Get outta here,
Everyone saw her
Ashley.
flip Nelson's hat. Was that cool? Is that across the line? Should she have gotten any repercussions because of that? Because lately we haven't seen MTV discipline anybody for that. We saw what I don't know if you watched The Real World, but last season there was a shove in the apartment, and they got a talking to, and out of the four people that a shove,
A girl on girl shove?
a girl on girl
guy shove,
shove,
Okay.
and then a guy had some anger issues and he punched a wall, so he got sent home.
Oh, really?
The other girl
For
had
punching a wall.
For punching a wall. The other girl, the two girls, one of them had a choice whether to leave or stay because of that. The other one got to stay.
Okay.
So MTV hasn't been disciplining lately, and then we saw the shove between Corey and Nelson.
That shove, I think, was, I think that comes down to if someone feels physically in danger. I don't think Nelson feels like Ashley's a physical threat to him.
No, not at
so
all.
I don't think that would.
I was just under the impression of MTV from watching all of these seasons that if you laid a hand on someone, you go home.
I mean,
regardless.
Camilla got sent home for shoving Tony. I think
Exactly.
even though it was a girl. Like, yes, she's not a physical threat to him either, but she
Right.
really shoved. I think batting the hat off. I think that is a gray area.
Do you think overall they're kind of being a little bit more lenient?
I think if someone hurt someone or punched someone like Camilla did in anger, and it was really out of control, that they would still get rid of them. I mean, I do think that they have to have a no. I'm sure
Right.
it's, legal issues that they have to have a no violence policy. Again, the sort of man-to-man shove, which I thought literally was more of like a chest bump than a shove. Gray areas. And her flipping the hat, I don't think it was crossing the line.
Okay.
But I
that's fair.
still feel like they should have been like, you want to go home? Fine, you little baby. Go home.
Well, we
Yeah,
want to know
get
what you
outta
guys
here.
at
Yeah,
home
what do you
think.
guys
So
think?
tweet us, meet us in the chat. Let us know whether you think it was across the
Yeah.
line.
I think she's a little bee and she should have gone home because she's a little baby.
That
That's
whole
what I mean. But
complaining of why I
seriously,
want to be here, yeah, that
I want to go home. Shut
Trust
up.
me, if I won that far, went out drinking, I'd be celebrating my ass.
Who wouldn't?
off.
What was she whining about?
Ashley's not.
Yeah,
Well, we
I
see
guess-
her. We see her in a better mood when the group gets to go to the I hope I'm pronouncing this right. The Loy Krathong Festival.
Okay,
Which is a
yes.
lantern festival where you get to send 2 lanterns, one for your past and one for your future.
Yes.
Which I thought was really nice. I've seen that a lot on social media.
Oh, okay.
I've seen like the lanterns where you throw it up in the air, but I thought it was a nice touch.
I was not familiar with the ritual, but it was nice. I really liked it. I thought CT's handling of that it was DM's anniversary and the day to sort of move forward was really sweet and adorable, and not, he's CT. He doesn't lay it on too thick. It was really appropriate and touching and nice, and my heart went out to him.
Oh yeah.
But it was nice. He seems at peace, which is, good.
I liked hearing from him about what he went through the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he went off the grid, and I know the fans, we all remember when we got the news that she had passed. And I have been watching her since she started, and I'm sure you guys at home have too. So we feel like, even though we personally don't know her, we feel like we were her friend.
Yeah.
She was always happy. She was always the peacemaker. And so CT brought, out the good and the strength out of her.
And she brought the good out of him. I mean, I felt like up until CT and DM, he was just a thug, basically. Like, she really...
He was a
He
troublemaker.
she really brought out the sweet side of him, and God, that flashback. I forgot how young they were. Like, God, CT looked like a little boy. He's a man now. We've seen him become a man.
I was tripping out on how perfect the days just lined up.
Yeah.
How they happened to be there on this day of the festival, and it happened to be the day of her passing, and it was just such a sweet moment.
Yeah.
I miss her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to happier times.
Okay.
CT, we hope you're doing well. Now we go to the final. The final is 3 days long.
Yes.
That's the longest I think they've ever done.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's going to be the hardest and the longest in all of challenge history.
Well, they say that every single season, so I guess we're all in for a good one. We find out that instead of competing as a team, they're competing as individuals.
Yes.
So they get to split and keep the money that they earn throughout the season. Now they're individuals, but every task they have to have a partner.
Right. So what did they say? So there's during different, so there's 6 of them.
So they're each
going
to have
each
a partner.
different leg of the challenge, they will be switching partners, and then in the last leg,
they're themselves.
Solo.
Yep.
Okay, which also makes total sense because I was like, how are they going to be able to compete as a 4-team versus a 2-team?
That's what I was thinking.
It didn't make any sense.
Right.
So it does make sense now that they're.
Do you like that they do this, or
individuals.
would you rather have had them as a team?
No, I like that they're doing it as individuals. I think I don't see how they could do it with uneven teams. And most challenges, even if your team's with someone else, it's still sort of, not individual, but finals, you can't really function as a team. You know what I mean? There's too much going on to function as a team versus a team. So I do like it. I wasn't surprised because I was wondering when they were talking about a team how that was going to work anyway.
I like what they're doing because it's different. I don't think it's fair to go 4-on-2. I don't care how strong Camila and CT are. What I like, and this was in the preview, is that they're switching up partners. So you're not stuck with one person. You don't necessarily know their strengths and weaknesses. You don't know how you're going to make a decision together or who's good at what. I like that they're mixing it up because that's going to create conflict.
Yes. Well, also, that's a wild twist because as Camila said tonight, she was like, that scares me because I'm relying on someone else who I don't know as opposed to just competing as an individual, and you don't know who you're partnering with, like what the leg of the thing that you're partnered with the person is. For instance, what I'm trying to say is like on this one, so on this first leg we have Corey and Nicole partnered, Camila and CT, and Nelson
and
Ashley. But Corey was already whining because apparently Nicole's a really crappy swimmer and is not good at puzzles.
Well,
so
Nelson seems like the crappy swimmer right now because that Corinne, he's all the way behind.
Yeah. So it's a bummer because it might be like, oh, goody, I'm partnered with CT, but then the thing is like light as a feather and you want to be, size as a deterrent.
Right.
So it's
here's the thing. I think it just all in the end, it balances out because sometimes you'll have something where it does work out and you do get ahead with you and your partner. And then your next task, it may not work out and your partner might suck and hold you back.
Yeah.
So I think it just all balances out and I like it.
I do too. I think it's going to make for a much more interesting challenge than if it was just teams of 2 throughout the whole thing because we know what people's strengths and weaknesses are. So this really is adding in a spicy new ingredient, which is fun.
Well,
it is fun.
Who are your top guy and girl to finish?
Camila and CT. I think
right off the bat, just go with the chicks.
I do. I think as CT said tonight in the episode, these kids do not know what they're in for. No. I think Corey, did he say Corey been through a final like this?
He did one, I believe. He had some experience, yes.
This is going to be epic, and CT and Camila, I think, are more mentally prepared for what they're getting into. I think weirdly, Ashley is oddly a survivor. She keeps cockroaching her way out of these things and surviving.
I've never heard that analogy.
She's like a little cockroach. She just doesn't go away. So she might do better than Nicole. Like with the underdogs, I don't know them as well, so it's hard.
Based off of what we've seen this season, as far as the underdogs, I'm going to say Ashley is going to be up there.
Yeah,
She's
I
strong.
agree.
You have to give it to her. As much as you may not like her, as much as I don't like her, you have to give it to her. I think a lot of people are going to surprise us. I think sometimes the strongest might have a little bit more trouble. I think Nelson's gonna struggle. We saw him struggling already.
Yeah, I do too. And also, fun fact, I learned tonight that Nelson was the manager at a strip club. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Who knew? Well,
I did not know that.
Yeah, who cannot pop a champagne bottle?
I can't pop a champagne bottle.
It's kind of hard. I'm always afraid it's going to shoot back at me.
I want to learn how to do that sword with a knife.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You got to get a
I'd probably
sword,
drop
though.
everything.
Scary.
So you're going for CT and Camilla.
I think so. I do. I think that they're gonna win it. I think that the second I would say is Corey and
Nelson?
Ashley. No,
Ashley.
Corey and Ashley. And then third, I think is going to be Nicole and Nelson.
As far as the girls, I think it's going to be tough between Ashley and Camilla. I'm going to say Camilla just because mentally she's there.
Yeah,
Like
I just
you
think
said
she's
before.
a little better, too.
Right.
I mean, like...
But Ashley, I wouldn't put her too far behind her.
I can't
considering
believe
how well she's been doing.
It's crazy.
As far as the men, I don't want to say CT just because you said it. So for the sake of argument, I'm gonna just to be different.
We can both have it. We can
just
both
to
say
be
CT.
different,
Okay.
I might go with. Oh man, who has more heart, Nelson or Corey? Physically, they can do it. Puzzles, sure, they can both struggle, but who has more heart? Nelson, Corey.
I think Corey. That's what I think Corey. But again, I feel like I don't know Nelson. I really don't know him very well. So it's hard. I really liked, this was the most I've seen of Nelson this episode, like his inner workings, like him sort of coaching Nicole and the way he addressed Ashley. So maybe
his mindset kind of changed a little bit.
He's a little keen. I mean,
all
like
right, I'm going to go with Nelson. I'm going to
right.
give him benefit of the doubt. I'm going to go with Nelson, even though he's struggling swimming right now.
Okay.
Now, a few of you, and I saw this on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen this because you guys have tagged me on it, and you guys have said it in the chat room. The spoiler alert: they already started filming season 30 of the challenge.
Okay, so that's what.
I don't know anybody who's in it.
Okay.
I don't know anybody who's in it. But I know that they started filming, and their location is in Colombia.
Oh, that's exciting.
Have you ever been to Colombia? I've never
No, I
been to
haven't.
Colombia.
I have not been to Colombia.
Probably not a
I'd
good
like
time
to go to
though, but-
Colombia. Yeah.
Yeah, so they will be filming there, and then we have one more episode next week, and then I believe the reunion.
Well, it's a two.
Is
They
it
said
two?
it's a two-part.
So
It
two
said
more
part
episodes.
one. Yeah, like the
Okay.
preview on the TV said like part one of the finale.
Perfect,
So I guess it's,
because I want to see more of
Yeah.
this. And I just told you this around before the show, and I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys know, but there's a brand new challenge show coming up. Believe it's about 6 or 8 weeks, and it starts at the middle of May, called Champs versus the Pros.
Oh.
We've never done this before.
like real professionals.
Like real professional athletes. So there's a
Wow.
skateboarder, there's a snowboarder, I think a swimmer, I think a former football player, and a few other ones. I think there's like 8 of them or something like that.
Is
And
TJ
they're-
gonna get to compete on the show?
No.
Oh,
He's
'cause
not
that
even.
would be
He's not.
awesome if
He's
he
not
was a
hosting
pro.
it either. So
Really?
yeah, we've got a next football player hosting it. I forgot his name. So he'll be hosting
man.
it. So this is gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna.
Yeah.
We're not gonna see drama, which I think would be weird seeing from professional athletes having that drama. I don't know. I don't think they should be involved in that spectrum. But I'm curious. The champs have not been announced yet.
Wow, that's exciting news.
So I know you guys at home, I do this too. Go on everyone's social media and see who's tweeting and who's posting, because if they're not
Yeah.
tweeting or posting, that means that they're on vacation, either in Colombia, but they've already filmed the Champs versus Pros, I believe.
Okay.
Since it airs in a month, I'm assuming that that they already did it.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, they can't.
Yes. So we got to do some
Wow.
homework and snoop on that, and you guys got to
Yeah.
snoop for us too and be our third eye on
Yeah.
this.
Exciting.
Is there anything that you're looking forward to next week, or?
I mean, there's so much that I'm looking forward to. I can't. I feel like the teasers for the next week always kind of give you a fake out.
I know,
So
right?
maybe Nelson is really like gonna sweep the competition or something. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to this whole competition. I can't wait to see what they come up with, how it shakes down, and how everyone does wind up competing. That money split was also exciting. So what is it? I wrote it down.
It's $100,000 for first
100 for
place.
first place. Oh, my favorite moment of the night was TJ going like, $100,000 will buy a lot of diapers. Like it's great. It will buy a lot of diapers. That's a pretty dramatic. So $5,000 for third place, $15,000 for second, and $100,000 for first. I mean, those between, usually I feel like it's never been that dramatic of a split.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, like any way you shake it, you're in pretty good shape. I mean, if you're getting in third place in this, $5,000, that's literally
That'll
a
pay off the rest of my car.
I mean, but that's like with taxes taken out, that's not a lot of money versus $100,000. So they
Hey,
better
at this point,
be
listen, I get to
motivated.
travel for free. I get to compete in all these things. I don't care if I go home with nothing. I'm still getting a
Ooh.
great experience.
But you would care. You'd be like, I was so close. So
all
close.
right.
So
I would
close.
Care. I would care. I would
Yeah.
care. So Sky Patterson says The Miz is going to be hosting the reunion.
The reunion, not that.
Yes.
'Cause isn't he a pro wrestler now or something?
He is. He's on WWE.
So maybe he could be a pro champ.
He's not. No, so he doesn't have anything to do with that part of the show.
Okay.
He's just doing the reunion.
No,
of the
I know,
season.
but
Oh,
as
you mean as
a
an
professional,
athlete?
yeah, maybe he could. Right, he could be like
He could be on the pro
a
side.
double. What's it called? Double agent. He could be on both sides. He could
I
flip.
didn't even think about
Whoa.
that. And then for the champs and the pros, I believe someone said it in the chat who it was gonna be. Something Cruz. If I can't find it, I know.
Okay.
Terry Crews?
No,
Cruz?
it's not Terry
Ted
Cruz.
Cruz?
No. Someone said it in
No
the chat,
longer
and now I
politician.
can't find it. Victor
No.
Cruz from
Victor
the Giants.
Cruz. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's the host.
Yeah, so
Cool.
he's gonna be the host of that show, so we're looking forward to
Okay.
it. At least I am, and I hope you guys are too.
Yeah, it sounds good.
So until next week, when the real stuff gets down and dirty next week, where can everybody find you?
Oh, please check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Pamela Gross Jill.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar. And thank you guys for tuning in and being on the live chat. And we'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.